Hello there. Have you ever experienced sudden whiplash when the velocity changed? Or an object that keeps moving even if the action has already stopped? Then that is called inertia.
From Newton's first law of motion states that an object will remain at rest or move to continue its motion in a straight line at uniform velocity unless acted upon by an external force.
The relationship inertia has with mass is the tendency of an object to resist changes in its state of motion varies with mass. Mass is the quantity that is solely dependent upon the inertia of an object.
The more mass that the object has, the more inertia that it has. A more massive object has a greater tendency to resist changes in its state of motion. Inertia can be classified into three categories that depends on the change of state of motion.
One of the categories is resting inertia. An object stays where it is placed, and it will stay there until you or something else moves it. For example, if a stopped car is hit by a moving car from behind, the passengers inside may experience whiplash as a result of the body moving forward but the head lagging behind. The head is experiencing inertia. Another one is when pulling a band-aid off, it is better to pull it fast. Your skin will remain at rest due to inertia, and the force pulls the band-aid off. Another car-related one is when a car is abruptly accelerated, drivers and passengers may feel as though their bodies are moving backward. In reality, inertia is making the body want to stay in place as the car moves forward.
May I add another example, which is shaking a ketchup bottle. When you shake the bottle, you bring the bottom down, and then you stop. This causes the ketchup come out of the bottle due to inertia. Besides, that is motion inertia. An object will continue at the same speed until force or friction acts on it. Let's take the example of a ball that is let go on a slanted surface. Gravity will make it roll down the slope. It has inertia, and if there is a level area at the bottom of the slope, it will continue moving. Other than that, if a car drove directly into a brick wall, the car would stop because of the force exerted upon it by the wall. However, the driver requires a force to stop his body from moving. Otherwise, inertia will cause his body to continue moving at the original speed until his body is acted upon by some force. Another one is when pedaling a bicycle. If you stop pedaling, then the bike continues going until friction or gravity slows it down.
Let me give you a more interesting example, which is when a satellite orbits in a specified orbit around the Earth. It moves due to inertia and lack of external force acting upon it to make it stop. Thus, the satellite's orbit is unhindered. Last but not least is direction inertia. An object will stay moving in the same direction unless a force acts on it. Let's take this for example. Abruptly stopping a cart with an object on top causes the object on top to fall off. Inertia causes this by making the object want to continue moving in the direction that it was. A simple one is when you stir coffee or tea and stop, the swirling motion continues due to inertia. Last example is if the wind is blowing, a tree's branches are moving. A piece of ripe fruit that falls from the tree will fall in the direction the wind is moving because of inertia.
Another example could be when spinning an umbrella vigorously and suddenly stopping, the direction the water droplets are spun off even when the umbrella has already stopped spinning due to the effect of inertia.
As you can see from the examples, inertia could be deadly, especially with vehicles, so here are some ways to reduce it.
When a car abruptly stops or suddenly moves, it could give people whiplash or throw people forward. Thus, things such as seat belts, airbag system and headrest are needed to reduce the risk of injuries.
For lorries, when carrying furniture or large appliances, it's better to securely fasten to the lorry as to prevent the appliances from falling off when the lorry moves or thrown towards the driver's cabin when brakes suddenly.
May I add, lorries that carry liquid are divided internally into compartments and have a strong iron structure between the load and the driver's cabin.
This is to prevent great impact from the movement of liquid forward when the lorry suddenly stops.
That's about it for Newton's first law of motion, inertia. It's an important motion for the universe to keep moving even if there is no force currently acting on the mentioned object.
It can be both positive and negative in our lives, and helping to understand the motion in our daily lives would certainly help us deal with it. That's all from us for today. See ya.